Hello and welcome to this video. So we are going to be covering measuring your progress. So there is multiple ways of measuring your own progress. So the first one being scales, then measurements, obviously with a tape, progress pictures, clothing and body fat calipers. Now we'll go on to the first one, which will be your scale weight. So the most common one is obviously your scale weight. You want to see your weight change, but this is where using the scales alone won't give you the full picture of what's actually happening because um, it doesn't take into consideration any gain in weight due to muscle being put on your frame. You could be retaining more water. You could have had more carbohydrates like over the course of a week compared to the week before, which will make you gain or retain more water. So you've got loads of different varying factors that the scales just don't show the bigger picture for. So if you've ever had a week where you've actively been trying to lose weight and then you jump on the scales, you've had a really, really good week and then the scales haven't moved, and you're like, oh, it's so demotivating because you've tried your hardest, you've done everything that you thought was right and it didn't move. So this is where we use the scales in conjunction with other methods as well. So my preferred method is always the tape measure because you can't really get a skewed measurement unless either you're taking the measurements yourself, which if you can do it, perfect, but I would always get somebody else to do it for you, because you can maybe skew the measurements by, and again, so could the other person, by pulling them too tight or too loose. So if you're going to do the measurements, just make sure that if you're doing them yourself, that you can do them as accurately as possible. So I'll put a slide at the end for the certain tape measure that I use because it's curved so that it goes flush against the curvature of your body, which just means that there's a wee button on it that you press and it's a wee recoil that brings it in towards you, which means that you don't have to worry about pulling the tape too loose or too tight. So you just press the button in and hold it in until it goes flush against your skin, and then that way it keeps the measurements as accurate as possible pretty much 99% of the time. So the next method that we would use is progress pictures. Now, I want to talk a wee bit about this because progress pictures, again, we'll use all of these in conjunction with each other because we want to get as broad a spectrum of what's happening with your body as possible. Because if we just use one method, then it doesn't tell the full story. But this was one of my previous clients, Jenny. Going off the progress pictures, I mean, like I think that looks cracking. The difference in 8 weeks was absolutely phenomenal. So we'll just look more side on. So she goes from being in, so she was a busy mummy too. She goes from being in a place of just been absolutely just chaotic, rushed off her feet. She then came to me because she had a holiday. She was going to Vegas, and I think it was at the right at the end of that 8 weeks. So we needed to get her obviously like as bikini ready as possible, as she said. So she had only lost 3.5 kilo, which equates to the guts at 8 pounds. So if we were just concentrating on scale weight, it's not a massive amount of weight, and I wouldn't say personally that that looks like half a stone of a difference. I would say that looks like a stone minimum. So we done the measurements, we popped her on the scales, and we took the progress pictures. So when we done the stats based on everything that we had done, so I got the body fat percentage based on the measurements, the change in them. So she had lost 4.2% body fat. A lean mass, so I'll say the fat mass first. So the fat mass had went down 5.7 kilos, which equates to, rounding it up or rounding it down, I can't remember, to £13. Now that seems, off of my eye, that seems absolutely spot on. It looks about a stone of a difference. So she had actually put on 2.4 kilo, which rounded is £5 of muscle. So over the 8 weeks, and again, this isn't muscle that, like, it's not going to make you look bulky in any way. Like, don't ever be scared of putting on muscle because that is where you want to be. But that's for another video. That's to explain in more detail later on. So the centimeters lost was 25 centimeters in total, which was 10 inches. So that's a massive, massive difference. So if you just look side on, you can see just how much of a difference that is. So this is where, again, the progress pictures, if we just use them on their own, they don't tell the full story. They don't actually show you how well you've done. So again, we'll just use every single method in conjunction with each other. Now, the last one is the body fat calipers. Now, this is one that you would only do if you can get a PT or a fitness instructor or anybody who can do body fat well in your gym to do it for you, because trying to do your own body weight, you can't get to every site yourself. If we were going to do a 7 site body fat analysis, then one would be the calf, which you absolutely just can't get yourself. So if you're going to go down the body fat caliper route, if you are at a gym where you have PTs available, if you could ask one of them nicely, now this is only if you need to, because body fat testing is quite invasive. It means you can see in the picture that the woman is wearing a sports bra, because that's something that you would need to do, because you get it done on like just under your shoulder blade, your hip, your back, your waist, your belly button. So it is quite invasive, especially if you don't know the person. So that's one that if you feel comfortable doing, then by all means get a health professional, well, a fitness professional in a gym to do, if you can get them to. So the clothing, actually, I want to speak about now. The clothing, I want you to pick something that you've got currently that you're absolutely dying to get back into again, or that you felt absolutely amazing in. Say it was like a little black dress that you wore to a Christmas night out or anything like that, like, and you felt absolutely amazing. Or maybe it was you were at somebody's wedding and you were wearing something and you just felt so comfortable and so confident, and it was the best feeling ever. That's what I want you to find. So if you've got something in your wardrobe currently that you could stick on and that doesn't fit you comfortably just now, that you really, really want to get back into for whatever reason, whatever that motivating reason is, then definitely go for it, because that is going to be an extra motivator for you to get back into whatever that was that made you feel that certain way. Also, if you could go the other way and you could buy something, so say you've saw something in the shops or online and you go, oh yeah, that looks absolutely amazing, I'd love to wear that at X, Y, and Z, then that again, it just gives you an extra sense of motivation, because you are now driving yourself forward to not only get your body goals for whatever reasons you want, but you now can visually see you getting better and better and better, and more comfortable into whatever bit of clothing you've chosen. So again, you can go either way, something that you've got just now or something that you want to buy into, because either way you're now going to be extra motivated, because you want to get back into not only fitting into those clothes, but the way you felt while getting into those clothes as well. So one last thing I want to talk about in terms of measuring your progress is biofeedback is your own body's way, or sorry, your own reference to your body to track your progress. So that could be fitness, strength, nutrition, hydration, energy levels, gut health, mental health, sleep, movement, stiffness, aches, pains, cravings, stress, or skin. So anything to do with your body tells you how it's coping by displaying certain signs. So, for example, if something's injured, you'll start to swell, because that is your body's recovery process starting to happen. Whenever you get inflammation, whenever you get swelling, your body is then creating a response to go and try and repair the damage done to that area. So if you've went over in your ankle and it starts to swell, that's your body trying to fix itself. So it's a natural process, but again, it's a sign to show what's actually happening. So for example, if your skin is extremely dry, then that would show that you're dehydrated. If your gut health is poor, then you would be bloating a lot. You would maybe get foods that make you feel dead lethargic or like give you gas or indigestion or whatever. So these are the things that I want you to focus on the most, because if you're focusing on all of these topics, then it means that you're leaving the body side out of it. Because what you do when you set somebody like a body goal is how do they measure that goal? They constantly look at their body for feedback. So if the progress isn't happening as quick as they want it to, they start to get demotivated, because I just want these changes. I just want to look and be how I want to be. But if you focus on your fitness, your strength, your energy levels, all of that stuff, your body goals are going to be a byproduct of all of these. So if you make sure that you're putting your energy into ticking all the boxes of these and making sure that every single one of these is spot on, then that takes care of everything else, because your activity levels, your fitness, your strength, your hydration, everything that goes into ticking all these boxes will then make sure that you are working optimally. You've got loads of energy to put into your workouts, you're burning loads of calories because you feel good, you're not stiff, you're not sore, you don't have any aches or pains while you're training, so everything feels great. So focusing on all of them rather than the body goals, make sure that you're making the progress that you need to make. So as I said previously, I've put in the information for that tape that I was talking about earlier. So if the link doesn't work in this video, you can just type into Amazon exactly what's there. So just IDAS body measuring tape, and it should be the first one. So it's got the IDAS branding on it, and it's got a red, the recoil button is red. So if you just pop onto Amazon, again, it doesn't really matter what one, it's just a recoil one that's curved that you can use yourself or get somebody to use for you, and it just makes sure that it keeps everything nice and easy with the measuring, and it means that it's going to be the same every single time. All right, so that is us covered measuring your progress. So I will see you in the next video.